Wouldn't it be great if you could walk into any restaurant in the world and confidently order your food? That is just not the case for most people. One of the most frustrating things when traveling in a foreign country is ordering food. In my travels, in fact, it just happened today. I have seen tourists order something and then look completely surprised when the food arrived. Their pride and sensibility prevents them from sending it back. How can you tell somebody you don't want what you clearly ordered and what they clearly spent time preparing? Then comes the next hurdle. Do I attempt to eat it? That's all well and good if it's something familiar that you just didn't want. However, what if it's an animal whose head is still attached? It's hard to force yourself to eat something that is staring at you. What's worse is when you order something that is clearly meant for 4 or more people. Not only is it something that you don't want, you know that it's going to cost a lot of money, and there is no way that you can get it to go. If you can even figure out how to carry all of it, your hotel room doesn't even have a refrigerator. Fortunately, there are a few simple ways to make sure that you always get what you want. My first tried and true method is Google Maps. I will open up the restaurant in Google Maps and take a look at the photos. Using the photos, although you may have no idea what it is, at least you can be sure that it looks like something you wouldn't mind eating. When the server comes, you can just point to the photo, but I will also have a plan B ready. You need a plan B because you could stumble upon a photo of something that they no longer serve. You could also be out of luck and they have ran out of something, or you picked something that is only served during certain times of the year. For this method, it is best to check it out before you go. There are 2 reasons for that. 1, there's no guarantee that you will have Wi-Fi or internet service inside of the restaurant. If you find what you want to eat at your hotel, you can take a screenshot and save it to your phone. 2, if you are dead set on getting one thing and you are unable to find a plan B, you can always ask before you are seated if they have what you want. In this case, you can ask by pointing to the picture on your phone and shaking your head yes. If they shake their head no, then it's time to go. The next method is for those who want to be more sociable. It is also good if you are trying to learn the local language. For this method, you will need an internet connection. If the menu is not in a language that you speak, you could take a picture of it and use Google Translator to translate it. When you find something that you may want, I would still Google it to see what it looks like. There are a lot of dishes with the same name that may look completely different. However, this will still give you some idea of what to expect. You can also use Google Translator's conversation mode to speak with the waiter. When you don't speak the language, Google Translator is good enough. However, it is not very good. For some languages, it is really a mixed bag. This is especially true in Asia, where some of the languages rely heavily upon tones. A word that has the same pronunciation to Western ears has a completely different meaning depending upon the tone used. I was able to communicate fairly well in Bangkok with Google Translator. Yet when I asked the server how good the translation was, she gave me the X. Once you have entered Google Translator's conversation mode, you can click on the hand icon at the top right. That will bring up a little info panel in the language that you need to translate to. It basically lets the person know that you are going to use Google Translator and how it works. I would like to order pad thai, please.
ฉันขอสั่งผัดไทยหน่อยค่ะ
Conversation mode is great, but it takes a lot of patience. It is not a good idea to try this when there are a lot of customers in the restaurant and the waiter is very busy. You have to remember, waiters are under a lot of pressure and they are not paid very well. The last thing that they need is to have to spend 5 minutes staring at your phone when they are getting slammed. That said, You will find a lot of them to be kind and considerate when the rush has died down. Now, let's assume that the previous two methods won't work. What do you do if you don't have screenshots showing what you want to eat? You don't have internet or Wi-Fi, and the restaurant has no photos on Google Maps. In that case, hopefully the restaurant is somewhat full. Then you can slowly walk around and look for someone who is eating what you would like to eat. You can then tell your waiter that you will have what they're having. You can do that by pointing to what that person is eating and then pointing to yourself while nodding your head yes. If you're not shy, you can also walk up to the person and politely ask if you can take a picture of their food. If you order with a picture, they can't bring you something that you didn't ask for and then try to pretend as if it's your fault. Most importantly, don't be afraid to make mistakes, and don't be afraid to take chances. If you want to eat really great food, you are going to have to wade through some really poor options first. Well, friends, if you found this information useful, consider subscribing to my channel for more travel information.